Hey, hi everyone. This is Sai from Let's Upgrade. So let's talk about how to get your certificate. It's very simple. You will see two links in the description. Number one is the place where you have to go and mark your attendance. Marking your attendance tells us, like, okay, you are a legit student who have attended this particular session. Link number two is your assignment. This is where your 90% of the priority is. You have to go and submit the assignment that is given to you in this particular session. Once you're done submitting that assignment, we will be evaluating that. We will send you an email. If you get the passing criteria, then only we will give you the certificate on a particular date that is mentioned again in the description. Please check these three things, and this is the way how you will get a certificate from Let's Upgrade. Number one, mark your attendance. Number two, just go ahead and upload your assignment. Check for the email that you have received it, yes or no. What is the feedback that you have received from your trainer? Number three, check on which date the certificates will be released. Thank you. Bye. All the best. Happy learning.
Okay, so this is where we are. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to whenever you are watching this session. I hope you all are doing great as always, and you all are filled with energy. You all are here to understand what we are doing today. So, as you all might have understood from the description, from the title of this particular topic, that today we are discussing how we can use generative AI to help prepare for our interviews. Okay, that's the most important segment that we are covering today. So, I will not typically bore you with the repetition of the content that I generate and I teach. Okay, so for an example, the in the last two sessions we were talking about how we can use the Socrates method to again learn things from LLM, which is really a great insight, and I love that method a lot. I use it personally when I have to do some fun, do some learning. Specifically, when I talk about learning age of any person, could be in PhD, could be masters, bachelors, or even school. I think that prompt is really helpful to gain really good insights about how the AI can help us strengthen our concepts, right? Similarly, at that period, I think I explained you about a little bit about how the AI and Gen AI tech starts and from where you can build some inspiration. Now, in the previous live session, we were talking about how we can use AI again to do some interesting things. Okay, so even in that part, we covered a little bit about the concepts related to generative AI. What does it mean to generate and things like that? Okay, in this session, I would like to again start off with some fundamentals, and this time it will be again unique. Okay, so I want to whenever we are doing this prompt engineering series, okay, or things related to how we can use AI in our day-to-day life, I would like to introduce you to interesting topics, interesting things that are more into the tech side, that will make you look smarter, that will help you understand and appreciate the concepts of generative AI better, right? So, with that being said, I'll just quickly recap. What is AI? AI is the creation of intelligence artificially. Intelligence exists in nature. We humans, we are, you can say, nature made, and all animals which we see, they have the ability to make decisions, understand, learn from the surrounding, reciprocate, upgrade ourselves on surroundings. For an example, if I happen to touch a hot object in my life once, I will learn through that lesson that I have to save myself from hot objects. Okay, whenever my body feels fever, I automatically learn to rest, because that's the way my body is fighting back any bacterial infection that could be there, or immune loss. Okay, so naturally we are learning these things. So the concept of AI is to teach machines the intelligence somehow. Okay, so when I say somehow, then there are different strategies, different ideas, different propositions of how to build AI. Now, in 2025 November, when we are here, we are already in the dawn of generative era. Okay, so AI has been here for almost like many years. The concept even can be I think I can trace the concept, at least in my memory, to last at least last 80, 90 years, that the concept I have heard about, like I've read some papers where people even used to describe these things prior 1950 also, like this was there, right? So starting from there till here, we have built a lot, and we do not need to go into technical dives over there. Why? Because one thing I'll clear for all of you: this session has no prerequisites. Okay, there is nothing needed in prior to understand this. If and only if you can understand what I'm speaking, and you are a normal human being, you are more than capable to take up this lesson. Okay, so that's the best part. I would say that you need zero programming knowledge, you need zero tech knowledge. I'll be covering some basic aspects for you. Okay, now AI, you, the point is clear, right? Something which is made artificial intelligent. So machine learning is, yeah, yet another way, yet you can say a type of AI. Machine learning is a type of AI in which you can say in 2023 we saw the series of transformers. This is a particular model. So I'll give you one analogy. For an example, how we saw, like as humans, we might one day have thought that why not make a car. Okay, and then came IC engines. Okay, internal combustion engines, and then we saw petrol engine, diesel engine. Later on we also saw some CNG and gas based engines. Okay, and now we are in the era of EV vehicles as the latest technology, right? So this idea to generate text from a model, the idea to generate image, to classify image, or to understand text, speech, audio, image. Okay, these things have been a part of research. We have been always building on top of it. There was deep learning initially, where there were good models to classify things. There were chatbots even before the era of generative AI, right? So if I have to give you a very simple example, if at all you might have been in the era of 2020 or 2018 somewhere, and if you happen to call a call center, okay, any customer service center, you might have realized that the technology at that time used to be numeric keypad based. Okay, we used to take DTMF inputs like they are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Press 1 for sales, 2 for support, 3 for this, and then this and this and this. Okay, that was the way in which chatbots still used to work. Okay, we also had chatbots on very simple websites where how can I help you, select a button, maybe you want to do this, you do that. Okay, and those were also the time when we had chatbots. Okay, but now in the era of generative AI, we see now we call any customer care, it directly talks to us in without helping us type numbers. Please tell me how can I help you. What do you submit your query in, say if you want to talk about credit card, speak that. Okay, then I say that I want to talk to a customer agent for my credit card, and directly the support L1 support connects over there, right? So this transition is something that has happened recently, especially after 2019, 2020, 2023. These were really crucial, and the last 2 years have seen the actual dawn of generative AI. Now, again, what is generative AI? So, generative AI, in essence, is the sub part of AI, again, a part of a domain of machine learning and a sub part of deep learning, in fact, where we use models to generate something for us. Now, when I say something, it could either be text, it could either be speech, it could either be images. Now, we all might have used chatbots a lot. Even in our personal life nowadays, it's quite a trend. Gemini is trending a lot. I see many people on Instagram posting images made by Gemini. OpenAI made some interesting filters, interesting ways in which people used to post images on throughout the social media, right? So that was a trend. I think it's called Ghibli art, right? Yes, Ghibli art is something that became popular. We use this models a lot. You might have heard some people showcasing cool stuff that, see, I use AI to make presentations, I use AI to do that, this and that. Okay, there are many in fact interesting tools that you can use, Canva being one of the most popular choice when it comes to generating digital content. Okay, so you can also explore that part of the AI. But again, the core context here is that generative AI is something that can help us generate content. Okay, now Usually, we call these models to be pretty large because of the size. So large could be in different contexts. One, that they are trained using large amount of data. Two, these models require large amount of resources to run. Three, these models require large amount of storage to uh, put on the machine. So they are large in a lot of aspects. Okay, large in size, in storage, in inference. I'll in fact teach you today all these terminologies. And these are models related to language generation. Okay, models related to understand our language. So these models can work in different ways. So I'll talk about what these ways are, but that's why they are called large language models. Okay, that's the most important term, and we will be understanding this as our first goal, known as LLMs. Okay, large. I hope you all will just simply keep whatever I just told you, that we are talking about the LARGE, large language models. Okay, so this is something that we all will pay focus to today. Okay, and then we will also see one of its application, which is the heart of today's session. So large language models are powerful AI systems. Okay, they are trained on vast amount of data. That's what I told you. So in fact, like for a fun fact, if you want to understand the amount of textual data that can go into training a large language model, if I have to make a human read that much amount of text, है ना? So as humans, we are so lazy that even I in my entire life would have never even finished a reference book for a single subject. So even if I was in school, physics, chemistry, maths, biology, I wouldn't even have bothered to even read that entire book. Forget college ke reference books, right? So, but if I have to let make any human read the amount of text that can go into large language model, it will require 2,500 years of his age, which is not actually possible, but virtually 2,500 years of dedicated amount to just read that amount of text that goes into training a large language model. Okay, now really that's something to be surprised with. That's something that's not a simple thing. It's a crazy super fact. Okay, in fact, so I happened to be in one of the inauguration event of Llama, which was happening in New Delhi. So the founders, the Meta team, was collaborated, and it was a closed event. So I luckily happened to be there, and we heard from the makers of Llama the story of how Llama came into picture. So even in fact at that time they shared a fun fact that when they had to train large language model, they had to inform the local authorities, the city authorities, that today Meta will be training large language model on these many hours and for these many days. So there could be electricity surge, there could be power failure chances, that entire city or entire town could black out. Okay, so that's the amount of electricity, amount of resources that were consumed to train such models. Okay, you can just imagine, even if you are a little bit into computers, you will realize that these models require graphic cards to be trained on, and even a small simple graphic cards. When I say small simple, for gaming it is really huge. 4090 or 5090 graphic card. It is really powerful for gaming, but it still comes with a 24 GB virtual RAM or VRAM. Okay, a VRAM storage. So these models, they require VRAM in hundreds and hundreds and thousands of GBs to run. Okay, so imagine we cannot even afford a single 4090 card, which is you can say a gaming grade card. Think about the amount of investment required to train such a model with racks and farms of graphic cards. Okay, so Llama has invested, you can say, in crores when it comes to training such model. Even to train something like so there is yet another Chinese company which is you can say quite a competitor in which how these models work, right? So even to train something like DeepSeek, okay, it will the Chinese company's model, it will take even still crores and crores of rupees just to create something like this. Now, this is the reason why that not many IT companies, not many even mid-sized companies can create their own large language models at this point because of the huge investment. And the reason I have explained you this fun part is because just to help you appreciate the the technology that is invested in creating such a model. Okay, and what goes into creating such a model? Well, there are some closed and open source model. Luckily, Meta has opened all of their models, which is Llama. So Llama is an alternative to ChatGPT. Llama is an alternative to Google Gemini. So Google company calls their generative model as Gemini. uh, OpenAI company, they call it ChatGPT, whereas Facebook Meta, now Meta, calls it Llama. Okay, these are their models. I'll also help you understand in some while that how you can research about them, which are top models you can use. Okay. Now, the next quick agenda would be to understand some core concepts that goes into large language models. So even as a beginner, you can sound a little pro when it comes to explaining that what is large language model. Okay, so the very first thing I wanted to appreciate is that there is an architecture known as transformers. Okay, so I'll just write as transformers. Okay, so transformers, what they are, they're divided into two parts. One is uh, I will say encoder, and the other part I'll call it as, you can say, decoder. Okay, just a second, let me adjust my pen. Okay, the decoder. Okay, the decoder. So these two are connected to each other, the encoder and decoder. What happens is that whatever input text is coming, so I'll say hi, okay, and I'll say how are you. Okay, so suppose if I have to write something like this, or let me say if I'm just writing hi for an example. Okay, and the model will give its output. Okay, just by taking, so encoder will take my output and decoder will give the output, but what it is, for now we'll just skip it. Okay, we'll just assume that this is the way that how large language models are supposed to work. Okay, I will say hi and I'll get an output. So whatever I'm writing, see how these models work. I'm not explaining you the architecture of transformers. So basically, in analogy, what I'm telling you is that I'm not explaining you how a petrol engine works. Okay, but I'm just telling you that what are some terminologies to know about a petrol engine. Okay, so even as a enthusiast who likes to drive car, okay, but you are not a mechanic in true sense. Okay, you are not an engineer enough to understand the complexities of how a petrol engine is made, but still knowing few things like what is charge, which means mixture of fuel and gas and air. Okay, what is turbocharged engine, what is supercharged engine, what is piston, what is casting material components that goes, what are movable components. Okay, now what is a flywheel. These terminologies, they help you understand and appreciate your car, or something that you are going to use. Okay, so if you are going to use the large language models, it is better to have some terminology clear with us. Okay, and I don't want to overwhelm you in this 1 hour of session with helping you also understand how what transformer is. Okay, that's not fancy. You can always come back and learn about transformers. So the smallest unit of text, I could write anything like hi, hello, how are you. This is a sentence. Okay, but if I break it down into say word level, then it could be hi one word, hello other word, how yet another word. Okay, if I further go beyond and break it into character levels, then hi ka H is one character, I is another character, a white space is third character, then hello ka H, ELLOR individual characters. I can go even beyond. I can keep on breaking to the smallest unit. Okay, so the way this generative models work is that they break things like, could be a whole word itself, could be part of the word, could be even a punctuation, start, stop. Okay, some position or anything. They break down your input into smallest units possible. Okay, and the smallest unit of text in terms of this model is known as a token. Okay, so I hope that you all are now pretty comfortable in understanding the concept of token. Okay, because token is something that is the core language, the vocabulary of large language models. So we never say that I'm giving an input of 100 words. Okay, it doesn't directly translate into 100 words. We cannot even simply say that each word is like a token. To explain it to dummies or to explain it to naive people, we as engineers sometimes simply say that, okay, the number of words, if you have 1,000 words, it could be somewhere around, like, you can approximately say that each word could be a token. But no, ideally 1,000 words could be somewhere around 880, 890, 800, or 900 tokens. Now how they are computed, it totally depends from model to model to model. Okay, each model may have a different way to tokenize your text. But to keep it simple, to keep it open to everyone, these models, each model has its own configuration that you will throw text. Ideally, as developers, even if you can think of something like a string input ja raha hai, we are giving string as an input. Okay, so each model could be OpenAI, could be Gemini. Mostly they work in the same way. Tokenization ज़्यादा change नहीं होती. So these models, they could have maybe four characters ko they will consider as one token. Some special characters like question mark, exclamation, full stop could be single character, could be a token. Okay, even if I write hello, so HELLO को तीन token में divide करके store कर सकते हैं. So there is a complex mathematics behind how to convert string into number of tokens. But that clears it out. The tokens are the smallest individual units of input of that the model converts from input. Okay, then what are embeddings? So embeddings are numerical vectors. See, even if as someone who has learned the basic physics even in 8th 9th standard of Indian education, or even if you have passed the basic initial few years of education in science, you would realize that in science there are two different ways to explain quantities. One is scalar and one is vector. Okay, so exactly that's what vector are over here. Vector are something that can be expressed with uh, magnitude as well as direction. Okay, so we remember we used to solve that matrices, we used to draw square brackets, write numbers into it. So similarly, there could be a two-dimensional matrix, three-dimensional matrix, there could be multi-dimensional matrix. So the more the number of dimensions, the bigger will be your bracket and more will be the numbers in it. So how these models they work is they store data as vector representations. So the very first thing this model will do is they will take your text, they will compute tokens, and each token will be then represented as with the vector embedding, which could explain the importance of this word. This vectors can help this model understand the importance of this word, the weight of this word in generating the output. Okay, by using multidimensional analysis. Could be one relation to each other, could be in the form of grammar, could be in the form of position, could be in the word of semantic relations, could be in terms of similarities. There could be many dimensions in which this embedding these vectors can help the model understand. Okay, so think of words as different colors, and embedding is like assigning a unique GPS coordinate to each color based on its shade or warmth. Okay, so similar colors will have a similar range in which the GPS coordinates will be placed into. Okay, so something like that. So similar words could be found out by their vector would be nearby to each other, something like that. Okay, then comes the transformer. So this is exactly the main model. This is the deep learning model. Okay, so you can understand that this is the deep learning model, or like a deep architected place where we have components like process the input in parallel way. They use maybe encoders, which are something like BERT, or decoders like GPTs. Okay, so these are components which actually do the entire magic of attention mechanism. So what is attention mechanism? It is a method which allows the model to focus on relevant parts of the input. Okay, for generating the output. So if you are listening to any conversation in a noisy room, suppose this lecture I am carrying out, and there's a lot of background noise, for example. So your brain will use something known as attention mechanism. Maybe someone is speaking in the behind. We are in a cafe. Okay, some waiter is taking order in the behind. Some child is crying over in the next table, near the next table, and then there's so much things, but your brain will use attention mechanism to focus on what I am speaking, because that's at this point important. It is important to pay attention over here. So attention mechanism can help the large language model to pay attention to the most important words in the input that can actually drive the output a lot. So remember that these models, they are architected like this. Okay. So what did we learn? We learned that transformers are the heart of generative AI. Okay, there are different type of transformers, and encoders and decoders are their main component. Encoder क्या करता है? Encoder takes your input, converts it into you can say embeddings, then do vector representation, and that's the main part of encoder. So vector representations then can be consumed by something like a decoder, and decoder can then generate output on top of it. Okay, so that's the idea. And in order to train these models, we generate in, you can say, really large amount of data, convert them into encodings, train the model, check their output, and do things on top of it. Okay. Now, in order to customize these models, there are few things apart from actually training the model that we can do. One of it is known as prompt engineering. Okay, so how can we train and customize these models? Number one, आप तो pre-training कर लो. What is pre-training? This is the initial phase in which that all massive amount of data, I told you, it can take around 2,500 years for a human to read amount of text that we use to train such models, वो यहाँ पे होता है. Pre-training is again one concept I want you all to learn. That pre-training is means what? It is a massive amount of data that we use. It helps the model understand language का grammar, facts, reasoning, है ना, vocabulary to generate text. Model will broaden its concepts. Initially, what will happen is, initially when you will be passing this amount of text to the model सबसे पहले तो ABCD it will try to learn. Okay, there are only, I think I only found different characters like full stop, exclamation, question mark, A B C D Z tak 1 2 3 4 till 1 9 to 0, and it will try to first build this character level information. Then it will start forming word level information. Then it will realize that there are many words in my training which I am seeing which always come in a sequence, particular sequence. Then it will start understanding structure, grammar, then facts, then reasoning. Then you can say the model will converge as a base model. Then second type of training that we can do on top of these models is fine tuning. What is fine tuning? So then again, now we take a second phase of training. Now we take a very particular model. So it is in similar way. Suppose that it takes maybe 10 years from first standard to 10th standard to generate a base model student. Okay, so we all go to school, we learn arts, we learn science, we cover physics, chemistry, maths, biology, everything, geography, history, mathematics, and statistics. We cover everything. Why? Because we want to create a general model of education in a 10th standard class. Now, fine tuning is like taking this person, देखो 10 साल लग गए to adapt this model to a general level as a person. Now we do 11th 12th. Some schools might support even till 12th. 11th 12th में क्या है, we will now check and select ये model कौन सा domain के लिए अच्छा है. We will do that. Suppose someone took science and commerce. Okay. Now after 12th, what we do is, so 12 years are invested in pre-training. After 12th, now we do bachelor's. It can take 3 to 4 years. So similarly, fine-tuning is little less hectic as compared to pre-training, because pre-training is really expensive, really extensive plus expensive. Fine tuning is then only pick, suppose I have to make a model which is good at physics. So I will pick up all the physics content available in this world as much as I can in my capacity. I can exhaust the internet. I can exhaust all the books, PDFs, documentations, research, and train this model on top of physics only. Okay, now this model will be updated, and it might have learned more physics than any other thing to generate. Okay, so out of these two type of trainings, pre-training and fine-tuning, can we do something on our level? Possibly not. Maybe you can try fine-tuning if you really are into large language models. You can learn how to fine-tune a model. We could always arrange a session for you if you request that you want to learn how to fine-tune a model. I can always teach you that. Okay, and in Let's Upgrade keeps doing such sessions. So but something that is in our control is known as third type of tuning, which is known as prompt engineering, and which is where today's session is taking you. Okay, so prompt engineering is the art of writing the correct instruction to the model. Now, since you have paid attention from the last 29 minutes to what I'm teaching, now you will understand a little bit better than a normal person that why it is important to design your prompt. So, what is prompt? Firstly, prompt is whatever you write through the keyboard as a chat to this model. If you say that write a story to me about maybe uh, large language models and you hit enter, maybe Gemini or OpenAI will generate an answer for you. So whatever you're writing, whatever you're giving as input is known as input prompt. Okay, so for now let's only understand input prompt. So you know that the model has something known as attention mechanism. You know the model has something known as vector embeddings. It takes our strings, it converts this into embeddings, use vector relations to generate something known as a representation of attention mechanism, something known as how the model has learned from our input that actually helps created the output. Okay, so the better our instructions, the better our input is, the better is the chance of getting what we want in lesser number of trials. Okay, so it is again comparable to an analogy I'll give you that see, everyone, every human or mostly would be comfortable to speak at least one language. Okay, they can read, write, speak, understand a language, yet they are not story writers, yet they are not artists or you can say script writers or story writers or someone who writes, right? Why? Because writing is a talent. And similarly, just to simply throw something, just to be able to chat with a chatbot doesn't by default makes you a good prompt engineer. Prompt engineer is someone who has developed the art of writing. Now, as the field of art is creative, okay, so people who are naturally talented obviously shine better, but it doesn't restrict someone from learning arts, right? As we can register ourselves after 10th 12th into the stream of arts, I want to do BA in arts and I can learn more about the arts. Similarly, there are ways in which we can learn basic of prompt engineering. So it's not something that is totally dependent upon how creative you are, but you can also just go through some session like this and appreciate the fact how to write a better prompt. Okay, so now we will be stopping the session on understanding some basic terminologies. We did cover up what is AI, what are large language models, what is token, what is embedding, what are transformers. It some of the components like encoder, decoder, and attention at a very high pace. Pre-training, fine-tuning, and prompt engineering. Okay, I think this is enough. Let us now open up our browsers and go to the Google Gemini. So now let us go to. So there are two ways in which you can use Gemini. In fact, so if I just search gemini.google.com/app, this is the normal chat platform where I will use it only to generate a temporary message, a very quick type of chat that I would like to do, maybe research on something, generate an image, or write something. So, for example, if I have to create an image, show a future of AI in 2080 world. Okay, something like this. Funny task. Okay, we can use the image model. Okay, now the model is working on it, but at the same time, I will tell you that if we have to use the Gemini in the correct way, then it would be in AI Studio. So this is the link, everyone, aistudio.google.com. Okay, now I will be using currently temporary chat, but you can in fact log in and save the chat. Okay, over here on the top right, you will see that we have something known as Gemini 2.5 flashlight. It is for me, it will be something else for you, but if you click on it, you will open the model selection card. Okay, now from here you can select whichever model you want. Remember, if you want to generate images, you can always select from the top level that what is the kind of task you want to do. Is it audio, is it video, is it images, or is it the most versatile LLMs, the Geminis, which are capable of doing both image and text. Many of the models, few are not. So in Gemini, uh, you can always pick something which is latest if you want, but it comes with more limitations because being a top model, even something like Flashlight or Flashlight latest, being the smallest model. So flashlight latest is little smallest cost effective, but at the same time it will be little less on accuracy. If you go for some hybrid models like just flash or flash 2.0, they are very capable models. The higher you go, something like 2.5 Pro being something like the top model. So, for example, if you are into iPhones, you will know that 17 Pro is the latest. So, 3 Pro is comparable to something like 17 Pro, and 2.5 Pro is something like 16 Pro Max. Okay, this is Pro Max, and Flash is like just the Pro, and Flashlight is like the normal iPhone. Okay, so the heavier model you pick, the heavier of the flagship you go for. Okay, now of course idea is that you can use whatever you want. For this demo, I think even the flash latest doesn't bite. Okay, now the idea is that we are going to give two different level of prompts to this model. Now, if you recall that I've explained you what a prompt is supposed to be, it is the kind of input text that you give to the model to explain some tone to the model. Okay, so for an example, if I was supposed to create a prompt over here, I can give it a title. So how do you create system prompts? Just from where you selected the model, right below it you have system instructions. Okay, let me write something like interview prep uh, assistant. Okay, so what is the idea that today we are building maybe an assistant which can help us learn and grow in our interview field. Okay, so see, one thing could be you are a helpful assistant. Okay, you are a helpful assistant. Okay, who uh, helps people train for their interview. See, this is a very vague prompt, and this is where a prompt engineer could make difference. The most important thing is that you have to make sure that you are giving the correct information, the correct type of input, what is the desired kind of output, what is the goal that the LLM has to achieve, and you are being very clear, specific, and less ambiguous as possible. Okay, so that's the beauty of writing a correct prompt. See, even before I give you system instructions, even before I help you there, I'll show you this Gemini. Okay, I should have mentioned to generate image. Anyways, let's cut this. We'll go to a new chat. Write an essay about large language models. Say this was my assignment. I'm in school, and my teacher asked me that Gaurav, please write an essay on LLMs and bring back. You will realize that the answer is not wrong, but if I could have been more clear about what I wanted, or what I want actually, sorry, what I want, then I could have received much better response to begin with. See, I know that my teacher has clearly mentioned that maximum words allowed are 500. For an example, okay, maximum three paragraphs needed. Okay, intro, you can say second para, okay, which could be the main verse, and the uh, conclusion paragraph format is appreciated. If I could have given this details, the model would have engineered for my tone. Okay, so the dawn of artificial intelligence, and again, if you see, this is one paragraph, second paragraph, and this is the first paragraph which came up with an image. Okay, so what we realize is that uh, we can go back and prompt engineer. Okay, please only write text and do not include any heading, images, or any additional data in output. Okay, suppose if we give this, now we re-engineer the prompt, and now here we are, just paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. Look at the beauty of prompt engineering. So this something like this is known as prompt engineering, where you set the goal, you explain the details, okay, and you specify the kind of output you want and make it very clear, and you reach your goal. So if you remember, the very first one was vague, we optimized, we further optimized, and we got our output. So similarly, when we write prompt, the most basic thumb rule is that it is not necessary that we might always get output in a single attempt. Okay, prompt engineering is the art which involves patience also. We have to test few things here and there which work for us. So now let's come back and write our system instructions in much more uh, detailed manner. So I know that I am preparing for you can say machine learning interview. Okay, so what I can do is your helpful assistant who helps people train for the domain of machine learning. Okay, now what if I have to train for a particular interview? So let us go to LinkedIn. Okay, let the website load. Let me take sample machine learning engineer resume. Okay, now let me take a screenshot of this snippet. So this is the summary. I click copy and let me save this. Downloads sample ml resume. Okay, something like this. Let me go. Oops, LinkedIn is not working. Let me we got LinkedIn. Let's go to jobs. AI prompt engineer. Interestingly, someone is looking for a prompt engineer. Cool. Okay, let's see. It's a remote job, not bad. Okay, prompt design and optimization, craft and iterate prompt templates. So I think you all just got lucky. All of you who are live in this, see people. Cybele is looking for people who are good at writing prompts, and this is an open job opportunity. So feel free to, in fact, connect over here. Okay, I think Venkat is the talent acquisition specialist right over here. I have 5 mutual connections. Could be an important connection to get this 3+ years of experience. But yes, he note that they are looking for a few things, but nice. Okay, now let us do one thing about the job. So let's take this and something like this. This is important. Okay, now I'll go. You're a helpful assistant who helps people train for the domain of machine learning. You have to particularly take pay attention to two inputs from the user. Okay, first thing is the job description and the other is their resume. Okay, conduct a 10 question interview. Okay, make it feel like a live interview round where you cover up to 3 questions based on their resume and past projects, up to 6 questions based on the job description, and remaining from the 10 question limit about general machine learning concepts. Okay, at the end of the 10th question, generate a summary table. Okay, to help user understand the review of their interview. Okay, now that's interesting. I could have added more depth into the prompt, but I think this is a very carefully designed, not very carefully designed, but I will say a thoughtful prompt, a prompt that has a goal. It has the particular flow in how it has to work, and now it can help me prep for my interview. Okay, so I'll give job description. It is always better to help AI provide things like colons, apostrophes, and inverted commas wherever needed to help it clearly take up the whatever you're supplying the inputs. Okay, I'll upload an image. I'll take sample resume. Okay, creating with okay. I think acknowledge. I am attaching my resume in uploaded image. I am ready for the interview. Let's start. So this is fun. This is really super fun. I am interested for this interview. Okay. This is an interview simulation for the role of prompt engineer specialist. I'm a hiring manager. Please treat this as a live conversation. Hello, thank you for joining us today. My name is this, and I lead this. And your extensive background, particularly your PhD in machine learning, your experience in NLP, and your leadership. Although this is a overkill, I would say for this position, we have 10 questions covering your past work, the specific domain. Okay. Question number one, leadership and cycle. Your current role as ML engineer and team lead involves overseeing this. Can you walk me through the most significant challenge that you faced in ensuring robust continuous integrations for 20 plus ML pipelines, particularly when dealing with varying data quality from different institutions? Okay. Question two is again project deep dive. In Where Should I Eat Out chatbot project, you mentioned developing your own API model to analyze user emotions. Can you elaborate on the architecture of the specific emotion analysis and how did you ensure? Oh, interesting. MLOps and scaling, you developed models on cloud using Azure. This is really interesting. I think the model gave me three questions to be answered about my project and resume. It gave me anywhere around like 5 to 6 questions from the job description and some general questions. Giving you background in deep learning, can you explain the transformer architecture compared to the RNN and LSTMs? A very important question. I ask this question a lot to the people I interview for job roles, and this is very important to me. I think people who answer this, I'm impressed with these people, and then I definitely talk about things like this nice to have question. I do ask these questions a lot, even when I take real interviews. So, as someone who takes interviews on almost regular basis, I can assure you that these questions are really interesting, and many of these I would have asked as a human too if I was interviewing this person. Okay, so that's there. I think interview summary. Okay, all it is giving me, what I can do is now I can just copy this template. I can put in these answers of my own. Obviously it will be a bit tedious to type answers to these 10 questions and waste your 20-30 minutes in which I am typing these answers. But I think this is where I will tell you that if you go ahead, try to write this answers and then generate your summary, it will really help you with this third column, which is candidate performance. So what I will do is let me in parallel copy this. Okay, copy this. Oops, just a second. Let me reload a new chat. Today you will help me write answers to these questions which are being asked to judge me in an interview. So please refer to the, you can say, resume, my resume attached in the uploaded image, and write answers short, precise, accurate, and clear to these questions. Okay, your output should strictly be just Q&A format. No need to add any additional response text. Okay, so questions colon paste. Let me attach the resume, upload files, and let's see if I can take help of AI to even maybe just give answers to this interview. Okay. Now, question answer for interview preparation. This is the answer. Okay. Oh, okay. Question three. Question five. Question seven. Question nine and question number 10. Very good. A very huge text to copy. And now you see the reason why I was saying if I had to give these answers, it could take 30-40 minutes to just type something like this. Now, paste this, enter. Let's see what our model has to do with it. Okay. So this concludes our 10 interview question. Thank you for your incredible details and professional responses. Your experience is end-to-end with MLOps combined with deep learning and prompt engineering is precisely what we are looking for. I will now generate the summary. Okay. Now this is where we performed. We were exceptional in majority of the cases. Okay. Exceptional, strong, excellent, exceptional is our feedback. We are definitely getting this job, but if at all we were wrong, if at all some of our answers were vague and not to the point, we could have used this learning platform to help us understand where we are going wrong. Now, you might be really interested that there are so many products in the market, okay? Interview preparation AI. We have mock interviews, we educative.io, mocklingo.com, Parakeet AI, very popular with cheating in the interviews, interviews by AI, AI Apply, Final Round AI, and so much. Interview Prep AI, UD, Huru.ai, and infinite. There's like abundance of companies who are building softwares like this, but today, just by using Gemini, without coding, without no coding else, zero coding, just by writing a useful system prompt, we were able to design something that can help us with for free of cost to prepare for interviews. So I hope you enjoyed this session and I look forward to feedbacks. I do check comments. Even if this session is recorded, I know this session is recorded. I saw a few of the comments in a few of the previous sessions that students were trying to ask few questions, majorly about attendance. I think 90% of the queries are about attendance, but some of them were trying to communicate with the interviewer. So I hope you all are aware that Let's Upgrade has changed the pattern that now we record our sessions and we deliver it as a recording. But it doesn't stop me from looking to your comments. So especially for the comments on the post. Okay, so if you want to ask any questions, you can always connect with me on LinkedIn. You can always reach out to Let's Upgrade. You can always put your questions in the comments. I'll be reading them. Okay, we can discuss your queries. I'm more than happy to give back to the community. So with this, I conclude. I hope the session was enjoyable. Thank you. Tata. Bye bye. Sayonara. Good night.